My grill area needs a major upgrade, and that's what we're gonna do in this video. I'm gonna show you, take you along with the process and build the ultimate grilling station. I don't know what makes it ultimate other than me just calling it that, but I think you'll agree that my grilling station needs some help. Come on, move! So let's get started taking that area and turn it into this. All right, so the countertop bases are done. They're both the same size, 18 inches wide. They're made out of treated 2x4s, obviously because we're outside. I haven't decided on the sides yet if I'm gonna put cedar, if I'm gonna trim it out, how it's gonna look. So we'll just have to see how it all works. So the next step is to get these into position, and I'm gonna leave everything, the ability to move right now until I get this grill in place and see how everything's gonna fit. All right, so what's next is to put cement backer board on the inside of these countertop bases. And the reason for that is to give us the wood a little protection from the heat. So the goal is to put the cement board all the way on both sides, but that would look really bad to leave it that way. So I've got some cedar shiplap that is gonna be on the front of these, and it's gonna encase everything. I'm even gonna put like a little cap on the end here. That way everything looks nice and seamless. And then the countertops will come on top and overlay everything. It should look really, really sharp. All right, something I want to show you here. So we've got the cement board on. Remember, that's just to give us another layer of kind of thermal protection. Shouldn't be a problem. It's probably overkill, but it makes me sleep at night. I started putting on these cedar tongue and groove. These corners are really important. So what I want is to line these up so they don't overextend past the cement board. Cedar is gonna go here also. I bought some cedar, a cedar 1x4. I'm gonna cut it down. I'm gonna make like a 90-degree cap, sand it down nicely, and it will cap all this together and give it a nice unified look. So now for the fun part. So the look I'm going for on these is a black granite countertop look. Sounds crazy, right? But that can all be done with this epoxy kit. Now, I'm using Total Boat's specific epoxy kit for this purpose. This is my first time going through this process. I've used Total Boat a lot in the past, but this one's a little bit different. So I'm gonna be referring to these instructions a lot and make sure we don't miss a step. But the first step is to seal this wood, and we're gonna do that with a seal coat. It prevents bubbles and gives us a good base for our flood coat. So here's the first one I did. See how this one's nice and even? That little wiggly line is in the wood. So this self-levels really well. What I mean by self-leveling is you put it on like this, right? And this is me trying to smooth it out. In the 5 minutes that it took me to do this one, this is what this one self-leveled and looks like. I should mention as well that, remember, this is the seal coat. So all of these imperfections are gonna be hidden. So if you don't get this layer absolutely perfect with the coloring, it's okay. It'll make sense when I apply the flood coat. While the epoxy is drying in the shop, I'm going to turn my attention back to the grilling station outside. A big shout out to Dyna-Glo for sending out this grill that is perfect for this space. Be sure to check out the links in the description to the grill and all the different tools that I used in this build will be listed in the description below. I wasn't exactly sure how this countertop was gonna sit in here. I wanted to use the grill first and see how much heat it put off. This corner post looks really good. I'm really happy with it, but I want the countertop to come over and cover this. But if you follow this line back, it puts it into the grill. I don't have enough space. So I find this a battle of form versus function. Now, function is really important when it comes to safety, but I want this to look good too. So I'm gonna have to sacrifice a little bit of the form for function. So what I'm gonna have to end up doing is take off this end cap, slide this whole cedar wall forward, and then I'm gonna put a smaller cap on here that will not have this. So we're gonna end up gaining an inch on both sides. These side gaps, I didn't think they were gonna be a problem because I had the spindles and kind of the decking, existing decking there, but after I had it constructed, it just looked weird. So my solution is to cut some 23-inch long treated 2x4s, and since it matches everything else on the deck, I'm gonna fill in these areas flush with the outside, so it'll give it a nice look. It's just an aesthetic thing. One thing I want to make sure of is that all these blacks are the same color. I ran into that problem on the base coat, which didn't matter. All right, so to make sure these are all the same color, I'm going to pour a third, approximately, of each one in one of these containers, and then mix all three of them together. Need to mix in these three colors, one into each, and this will give us a marbling effect. So this is a powder rather than a liquid pigment. That was a little nerve-wracking, not gonna lie. It wasn't bad, nothing went wrong. I just didn't know what it was supposed to look like. I've used a lot of epoxy in the past, but I've never tried to make something look like a stone before, look like granite or marble. So that was a little bit different. All right, it is the next day. It's been 24 hours since I poured this black marbled look. I'm 90% happy with my work. There's a couple small spots where I think I can do better. And one thing I'd recommend if you're gonna do this yourself is to practice on a test piece with the marbling effects, because the possibilities are really endless as far as how you wanna marble it, whether dark or light, and how drastic you wanna go. I think I can make the marbling look better. So what I'm gonna do is I have enough epoxy. I'm gonna do this again, taking the knowledge that I gained from the first time and hopefully get a better result. Really happy with how it's turned out to this point. I've made an absolute mess, a lot of cleanup, but I think it's gonna be well worth it. These things look really, really good. Just popped all the bubbles. With the torch, you could use a heat gun also. It's really important to get that glass-like finish. Fingers crossed, everything cures good, and these things will be ready to go. using Total Boat's Halcyon finish for these countertops. Now, the cool thing about this is it's UV resistant. So even though I'm using epoxy, which can be outside, adding this finish is going to really improve the overall durability of these countertops. So 3 coats is what I'm going to do. And I'm using a foam brush. You could spray this and probably get a better result, but I'm going to use a foam brush for this one. All right, so I'm up here on the deck and getting ready to install these countertops. I've really put a lot of thought into how I'm going to attach these to allow them to flex and change with the seasons. So what I decided to do is to drill these holes with a bigger drill bit than my screw, where I'm attaching it to the frame. And I'm gonna put this washer, hold it so it doesn't pull through. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna allow that countertop to move if it needs to while holding it tight.